This week I spoke to Ed Peppett, who cycled to go and see 327 lighthouses in England and Wales to raise money for Shift MS. The full episode will be out on Sunday, but enjoy this clip. It's a very heartwarming episode and I can't wait for you to see it in full.
Thing is, there are some remarkable people in this country. You know, we may not be in a particularly happy place in this country at the moment, and there may be all sorts of black and white views about all sorts of topics. But there are some incredible people. And I found, for example, guest house owners around the coast who would sense that something wasn't quite right with me and would just look after me, basically. I mean, I'm thinking in particular of a wonderful bed and breakfast called T. Helig in St. David's, where the owner's lovely couple, they sensed that I had just not given up exactly at that stage, but they sensed that if they didn't help, nothing was going to happen, and probably the journey would come to an end. So they were phoning boatmen and weathermen and working out bus routes, and pretty much I was stuck at St. David's because the tides were awful and the storms made the water very choppy, and I needed to get out to Smalls Lighthouse. That was one of my biggies to tick off. And St. David's is quite an expensive place to stay at the best of times, but I was effectively stuck in St. David's, spending money, not moving, not able to get out to St. David's. And I really didn't know what to do. And I think in a different frame of mind, I would have been quite creative and thought to come up with a plan and so on, but I couldn't really do anything. So my guest house owners sort of took over, and they organised for me a bus route further north, and they suggested that I got on my bike and carried on and forgot Smalls. And then the first day the boat was running again, they worked out that if I'd got as far as this particular town, I could jump on the bus here. If I got as far as Aberystwyth, I could jump on the bus there. And so that's absolutely what happened. I continued on to Aberdaron, I think it was. Then discovered that the boat was back on for the next day. So I left my bike in a pub cellar in the town and jumped on a bus all the way back to St. David's.